Welcome back to Going for Gold with Gia. This week it's just Gia and I as we officially close the regular season and look ahead to the most exciting part of the year, our postseason competitions. So Gia, before we talk about what's next, let's look back for a second. When you think about this regular season as a whole, what stands out to you the most?
The consistency, I would say. Starting in January, we faced plenty of top-ranked teams as well as the middle tier or even beyond that, and our efforts and focus and consistency were present all the way through it. The results show what happened greatly because we're only dropped a single match in men's and women's side, but the way we performed, that was really special that way. We had to also notice that a lot of our athletes were traveling to World Cup, and we had to do a lot of rotations between the World Cup and the college meets, and yet results were the same. Our kids performed pretty strong on every facet of the competitions, domestically and internationally as well. We had a NAC in Cincinnati, which was a lot of good results, but at Duke, our team was competing as a collegiate event there with 6 other teams, while 12 of our athletes were overseas competing. So the 3, and I think men's and women's epee were in 2 different places, and men's and women's foil were in Italy. So I would say 75% of our starting lineup kids were absent, but yet we would never call the first lineup or the second lineup, but whoever had to fill the gaps did a really great job.
Yeah, especially men's and women's epee, they only had 3 fencers to compete for each gender the entire weekend, so they were going, and it was quite impressive to see they're still putting up points, and they were exhausted, but they had a lot of fun, and they did really well.
The fun fact that substitutes were brought from the foil,
yes.
And they had a winning record in epee.
Yeah,
so
they did.
Obviously, the entire team did really well. So that's what I could notice throughout of it. Dropped the opening match against Ohio State at the men's side and went 4-0 after that at St. John's Cup against the really tough competition, and only dropped the women's to Princeton, and we're a top 3 teams, a 3rd ranked team in the country. Other than that, we had an unblemished record. The men are 15-0 winning streak since that, and women are 17-0 since that.
Yeah, and we did get to bring home the men's St. John's Cup.
We had to leave 1 over there from 2 we had last year. But, the tiebreaker with Princeton, and I think Columbia also had a 4-1 record as well that day. So it's a really, really incredibly dense and tough competition we faced there. And again, I'm pretty satisfied where we were at that time, but thinking that right now we're in even better shape and more prepared.
So you talked about how we were missing a lot of our teammates due to international and NAC competitions over the season. Would you say that changed anything about the atmosphere that our team competed at?
Usually the NACs will not conflict with collegiate tournaments, but international World Cups and Grand Prix are the hindrance that sometimes. But again, this is such a great opportunity to the kids who are eligible for the World Cups to compete at that level, while the others, our athletes, get that opportunity to fill those places and represent us to the highest level of the collegiate events.
All right, so now we're officially shifting into postseason mode. So that includes ACC Championships, Regionals, and then the NCAA National Championship. How does the mindset change at this point of the year? Or does it?
Yes, it's a kind of double-edged sword that yet it's its own competition. ACCs are important to us, but it's still the preparation to the regionals, and regionals were the preparation for the NCAAs. The final and ultimate goal for us will be greatest shape we could be for the NCAA. So that's a lot of moving parts going to ACCs. We have the kiddos who are probably exhausting from the travel, then we'll have a little break. And the kids who are peaking to push them to the next level to come up with the ultimate line up an ultimate the roster for the regional qualifiers would give us a chance to qualify the maximum, hopefully, or as many as possible for NCAA tournament. So this is another step for the preparation for the greater battles down the road. But it's really exciting because we're going to face incredible opponents from our conference, and we take the conference championship very seriously.
So seriously, in fact, that a lot of our athletes are really hungry this year. I heard that we had a number of athletes that wanted to come to ACCs this weekend to compete individually, even though it wasn't necessary for them to come. They could have taken a break. How does that make you feel as a coach?
I feel great as being a coach every day, regardless who wants to come to ACCs. It's an incredible place. But it's a mix of how we're going to kind of fill the gaps for the ACCs. Some of our top athletes will be staying home because they had 6 weeks of the international and collegiate competitions, and wear and tear has been great, so we need to give them a break. Some of them will be competing only individual events, some of them will be team events. So it's for a little bit for everyone. Yeah. We'll see how we compete, but we are as prepared as well as we could be for this moment. And everyone wants to be there. Unfortunately, there is only 4 spots for the team events and the 4 spots for the individual event. And I am glad that our kids have ambitions to be there and compete every time. And all of them want to be there, and all of them feel like they belong to that rotation of 4. I'm very proud of them.
We've talked in previous episodes when we did our ring reveal in the long history, or the short/long history of the ACCs in fencing. How many times has Notre Dame not claimed men's or women's title?
2018, we lost both men and women. But ultimately, we need the NCAA title that year. And then a single times at home, a couple of years ago, we were second in the men's side. And we have, I think other than that, one time we lost the women's title. COVID, we could not make it. Twice the men's and 1 the women's side. So three times. So we've been very successful. We claimed both titles last year.
So we're hoping to continue on that.
We'll compete for it. Yeah. Stanford is the dangerous team, and Duke is strong, and they'll be at home. And North Carolina, and Boston College has been rebuilding massively last couple of years. So it'll be so interesting.
Yes.
Exciting and interesting for sure.
I got the privilege to hear your speech yesterday with the team, but if you could recap for our fans what you kind of said to your team yesterday in the locker room as we go into this postseason, the ACCs and regionals. What words of wisdom you had for your team, and what was your overall message?
I wouldn't say wisdom. I had a couple opinions or a couple ideas. We usually don't speak a lot, like as a coaches, everyone, it's kind of, we run very autonomous program for the weapons. We do lifts together, the conditioning together, warm up together, but other than that, the coaches convey the messages we have together. And occasionally head coach has something to say, and kind of harnessing their energy and laying out the expectations. And expectations are attention to details, the discipline, and most importantly, no reason or rights to be scared. So we are going to attack this process fully head on and try to leave the fears and anxiousness or anxiety behind. We've done well and we've trained hard. I would say one thing that probably hardest we've done in the past couple of years. I know for a fact that we're one of the hardest working teams in the country. So no reason for us to be scared or intimidated or doubtful of what lies ahead. We just have to attack it.
Wise words.
From not very wise men, for sure.
I know you also mentioned that while in this postseason, we can only take so many fencers, and we have such a large team. We have like 65 athletes. Correct. We can only bring so many people, but that does not diminish anyone's value on the team. And we're all still one team, one heartbeat, reaching towards a goal.
Yeah, we start with the 65 and 30 plus will travel. 24 will go to qualifiers, and hopefully the 12 will be representing us, 6 in each at NCAAs, but it's a one team who, it's one living organism. When we celebrate together, it'll be a ring ceremony in the past or presenting the team on the football game on the field. It's everyone counts. And the message was that everything will be decided in the best interest of the team's success. And our athletes, our students know that. So no matter how hard is that to select those few go into the different competitions moving forward, we all know that it's the greater good for the team's success.
For fans that might be newer to fencing, can you walk us through how regionals kind of work going forward? Because again, you have to reduce to 24 to 12. How do you get to that 24? And then how does the process of regionals work?
The regionals, we could have 12 athletes in each gender and cannot be more than 5 in each weapon. So roughly speaking, 4 in each weapon. The toughest part of regional is in the first time during the year, they're going to face each other as well as the regional opponents to qualify for NCAAs. And that's the hardest competition of the year when, you cannot coach against your own students. And yet it's a lot of stress and pressure comes with that to compete against the teammates who've been alongside on this journey all year long, compete against the others. And hopefully moving from there, we'll have a chance to qualify. This year the allocations are different than the others. I think we have less than we had last year. So amplifies the difficulties of the competition, but hopefully we'll be ready for it. And the kids who represent us for the regional qualifiers, some of them will be chosen based on their performance during the season and the regional championships combined to qualify for NCAA championships. We have the team who's eager and excited, and the coaches. This is the part of the season what really gets me and our coaches going. And what could be better than having an opportunity to represent the better fencing program, the kids who are prepared, and this incredible university to the highest level. And hopefully, bring some good news and some hardware back home.
Well, fans, we will be heading to Duke, North Carolina this weekend for the ACC Championships, both men and women. You can follow us on the Notre Dame Fencing Instagram, where we will be posting the final touches and the relevant scores for the championship weekend. I also believe that it is filmed. I'll leave a link in the comment section. As well as on Fencing Time Live, there will be up-to-date scores for each of the individual and team events. That's a wrap for this week's episode of Going for Gold with Gia. We'll see you next week, and as always,
Go Irish!